Hello. My name is Leah. I am the creator of the Eventual Knits podcast slash business or something. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so happy to be here. I have a lot to talk about. The last time you saw me, I was about to have my first craft show of the year. It was a free show at a high school in Prior Lake, Minnesota. It was actually at a powwow. So I had no idea what to expect when I went, and it actually ended up being such a fun show. I was really excited to be a part of it and to just sort of see how an event like that goes. A little bit about me and my business side of my crafting. I like to make clothing and accessories for my Etsy shop and craft fairs. I've had so much more success at craft shows than I have at Etsy. And I think part of that is because I do struggle with keeping up with Etsy itself, in the sense of, I feel like what's really frustrating is, for example, I make scrunchies. Etsy only allows you to have 10 photos. So what, I'm supposed to have like 3 listings for just one scrunchie thing. That's really confusing. I know that with prices and shipping these days that it's hard to justify buying a single one, but how do I determine colors? How do people select colors? I feel like Etsy is really annoying at setting up that kind of thing, like create a bundle. That's not really a thing on Etsy. So anyway, I've been much more successful at craft shows. I only did like 3 last year or something, starting in the fall. So this year was my first craft show in March. I already forgot when it was. But my last episode that I did was right before that, so I was mostly just crafting for that show. So the show started at 1 p.m. and typically for shows you get an hour setup. So I thought that setup began at noon and, acted accordingly. I'm drinking tea out of my Knit Circus mug. I have a bit of a cold, so I am drinking lemon, ginger, and manuka honey. It's so good. So I get there, I have no idea where I'm going. This high school is huge. I mean, I went to, at the time, a pretty small high school building. Like, I want to say there were probably 1,200 students total. So like 300 to 400 per class, and the building itself was pretty small. I know that now the current high school building is much larger. But you pull in, you're not sure, am I in the lower lot? Am I in the upper lot? There are cars in both, whatever. So I drive around and I realize, okay, I don't know where I'm going even once I park. And I have a lot of stuff to bring in. And I keep forgetting to buy myself one of those like carts to pull my stuff on. So I just have to carry all of my stuff. So I get there, I just pull up to the side, turn on my hazards, and I go in to like check out, where am I going? Where am I setting up? Okay, so you walk in and it's like a concession area right away. So this is the like activity center of this high school. So there's a concession area, and then to the left is the sort of like gym arena space. We were set up on the upper level, which was a walking track, and then the powwow was set up in the like main gym space below, which was really cool because that meant that the powwow was visible from anywhere on the track / the shopping area, and they were, sort of separated from each other. So you could either go down to the main floor and really focus on the powwow, the dancing, the drumming, the event that was happening, or you could, come up, you could still be listening to the powwow, but you could be also shopping. The thing I did not consider was how loud it was going to be for 5 straight hours. I definitely should have brought earplugs. I was very overstimulated by the end. It was a great event, great energy, great crowd, great other vendors. It was a really, really cool show, to be clear. But anyway, I walk in and they do have tables set up, so I didn't have to bring my own table. Thank God. My table is an 8-foot table and it's so heavy. And everybody's basically set up. Not 100%, but pretty set up. It did not have that many vendors. I want to say it had like between 15 and 20 vendors. There was definitely space on the track, if that makes sense, for additional booths if there had been more people signed up. I'm honestly surprised that more people didn't sign up because it was a free event. You didn't have to pay for it. As a vendor, as a vendor or an attendee, honestly. So I'm walking around trying to find where my tables are set up. I did ask for a double table, and I think that was a good thing. I kind of always feel a little bit selfish requesting double tables if I'm not bringing my own, but I really do need this space. And it filled that corner, so I was put in a corner, but the corner I was put in is the direct diagonal opposite of the entrance to the walking track area. So I brought in a couple things going all the way around the track, and then I was like, this isn't working. I'm going to need to find a different thing. So they did have an exit, thankfully, from the gym, but because it's a high school, there was no handle on the outside to get into the gym again. So I had to set up something to block the door open and whatever. I just felt kind of dumb. You get really sweaty. I'm walking really fast because I did not consider the walking time of carrying everything in to get set up. And when I get sweaty or hot, it makes me flustered, and not like in a negative way, just like in a like blah kind of way. And so it was, once I was able to just go straight like in and out, even though I was really far down, I was getting my steps in. It was totally fine. I did feel just a little bit, I was behind, kind of, technically. Again, it was very informal. It was not a big deal. But so I think the stipulation about it being free was that you had to donate something for a raffle. So people got raffle tickets when they came in, and they were periodically drawing throughout the day. And then people, I assume, got to choose one of the prizes. So I donated 5 scrunchies because it needed to be of $20 value or more. And it was like a set of scrunchies, so I thought that was fun. There was a vendor right next to me, and again, it wasn't like next to, there was a decent amount of space between us, was a quilt maker, and oh my god, their quilts were amazing. It was just a mother-daughter thing. A lot of the vendors were First Nations or Indigenous, but not everybody. Most of them were, but they specifically had said that they wanted a variety of people, and it didn't look like I was taking up any space that I shouldn't have, and it was just such a good event. I'm going to include footage from the powwow itself as well as my setup. I didn't film it all during the day, during like the shopping experience, because it was so, I don't know, it was like steady, but also not consistent enough to warrant filming. I also didn't want to waste all of my battery because I was going to be there for 5 hours, and I actually was able to, during lulls, take pictures of some of my products that I hadn't added to my Etsy shop yet, and I think I still haven't added. I still have to. I haven't figured out yet the best way to sell my stuff. Annoyingly, my Instagram is like permanently attached, like my business Eventual Knits page. Okay, let me back up. In order to sell things on Instagram, Instagram and Facebook are both owned by Meta, and so they coordinate with each other. In order to sell your stuff on Instagram, you need to have a Facebook business page, which I have, but that's attached to my primary Instagram account, my Miss_LJV account. I have a separate account specifically for my business called Eventual Knits, which makes sense, right? But I can't like detach my business page from my main account, and therefore I am struggling to actually be able to set up a business. Like, I think it would be easier for people to be able to shop directly from Instagram if they wanted something, but there's something going on with my main Instagram account versus my business account, and I don't know, I just was not able to be able to make it work yet at this time, so I don't know what's going on with that. But as a shopper, as a consumer, I definitely prefer to be able to just buy something directly from Instagram versus going to an Etsy shop, but it is what it is. So anyway, for this event, I do want to say, especially with the economy the way it is, with just like the way that I feel like consumers are shopping, and people don't really have that much expendable income to just be frivolously buying things, or things, I guess, that are wants versus needs. So I did highly reduce my prices of things for this event, and I probably will continue to do so. Anything that was considered like these little like mini purses that I really made with kids in mind, and spoilers, kids did buy these. They loved them. It was so cute. They fit perfectly on like a child to teenager body. Like, oh, so cute. Such cute little purses. I priced these at like $10. I priced market bags that used like a full skein of this yarn at $20, I believe. And this time I put every price on tags, which was different from before. And then I also wrote like signs, basically. Before I had like a really nicely printed price list that people could peruse, and I was finding that people were having difficulty noticing it. Like, people would complain that I didn't have prices. Complain is a pretty strong word. They would, like, an older woman would come up and make like an offhand comment like, nothing, you don't know how much, or I don't know how much anything costs. And I'm like, oh, I have my price list here, here, and here, But I think people want to either be able to like see the prices as they walk up, so they know whether or not they want to approach the table, or they want to be able to like look at a thing and then flip or look at the little price tag. I think that seems to be what people are wanting right now, at least for my goods. And so I had written things out that were like, some things priced as marked, some things like this set price. So the scrunchies I had for $6 a piece, or 3 for $15, or 5 for $20, I think it was. So they get cheaper the more you buy. And I also had a promotion that if you bought anything, you were able to get a free coaster or scrunchie. And some people took advantage of that, and some people like just didn't. So I have to make that a little bit more prominent, because I think people like forgot or didn't notice, and then I forgot because it was something new that I was doing, so I wasn't making sure that people were doing it. But especially with the kids, I made sure to be like, hey, make sure you can pick out a scrunchie. I did make a decent amount of sales. I think that I had my most successful, most profitable craft fair yet, which was, I think I made like between like 150 and 180, which I know if you're trying to do like a full-time job out of craft fair stuff isn't that much, but I consider that a big success, especially for a free event. And really, I just want people to buy stuff they like. That makes me so excited. So anyway, my most popular items were the market bags, the ones that you can pull out and then stuff back in, and the various fruit style bags, whether they were a produce bag or a purse. I also had a few people buy some earrings, and I had one like bowl cozy. My mom bought that. she really liked that. My mom is so funny, that she is always buying my stuff, even though I tell her she does not have to. No, she likes it. She likes the things that I make as well. She's also very knitworthy. She's one of the people I make things for the most. Another thing I got to do during the downtime was reorganize my bins. So my bins had gotten super messy in the sense of like, some of my setup materials were, in this bin, and some of my setup materials were in this bin, and some of my items were in this bin. Like, they were just sort of all over the place. And there are some things that I use and some things I don't use anymore that once I have gotten into this rhythm of doing craft shows, I realize what works and what doesn't work. So for example, I had these really cheap, like chalkboard things that I had put prices on, but both outside and inside, they fall over constantly. They're just not heavy enough to sit up on their own, and they also are just not very noticeable. So I like put everything that I don't use still in one bin, so that I can remember that I don't need to lug that whole thing in. Come on here. I love you. Nara was just screaming at me, so I'm in a pause. Well,
get up on mom's lap.
Yeah, I know, it takes like 100 years, and it's like, let's go. All right, always gotta have our cat interruption, always. But yeah, so then I'm not just lugging things that I don't need to back and forth, and I can also like probably get rid of the things that I don't use. So one thing that I was really excited to use was this little earring display. but I find that people don't really look at it very much. So this time I tried displaying my earrings just flat on the table to look at, and people at least touched them more. So same thing with a scrunchie display. And in my previous craft vendor shows, I had the scrunchies like up on hooks because I thought that looked professional and nice. But again, I feel like people like didn't take them off. They didn't touch them more than just like in passing. And so this time I put them in like bowls that people could paw through if they wanted to. I also am considering taking the tags off of my scrunchies because then people can like handle them more easily. So I'm just playing around with stuff here and there.
What you got going on over here?
Crochet!
Holy moly.
I totally thought someone was but I heard you ask. I have not given my donation yet.
All right, it's a 5 pack. It's a what?
5-pack.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All in all, it was super fun. It got me really excited for the other shows this year. I actually last minute signed up for a show that is in like a week. It's next weekend actually. And so I'm going to be furiously making stuff for that. So a few things I have made for upcoming craft shows are I made a few of these lemon bags. I did one that was just like the plain yellow and one that has a slightly lighter yellow. I don't know if you can tell very well, but it is a lighter yellow. You can see I used the lighter yellow in the straps. And again, all of my little bags have a clip, a little snappy snap. And I did an orange one, so cute. And this is actually using a size 4mm, I believe, a G hook. I believe it's 4. Could be 4.5, but I'm pretty sure it's 4. And these designs are from Chiaroscurosity designs on Etsy and probably Ravelry. But this one yesterday, I tried it in the 5mm, which is what it calls for, and it still ended up looking, it still came out good. I think I was worried that my gauge was too big, that it would be like too gappy, but I think it came out fine. I might try a 4.5 for the next one, but this ends up with like a slightly bigger, more traditional looking purse. I know this is a lot of green. I considered whether or not I should change the leaf type, but I didn't type because I was just, this is the first lime one that I ever made, I think. Well, lime one that isn't in this color. The previous lime ones I've made, well, it's not this exact yarn, but it's this color, more of a limey lime color, and this is like a green lime color. But yeah, so I have a few of these. I made one single bag. I am considering lining it and adding a zipper. So I've never done that before. I'm sure it would be fine, just whether it's just about how long it takes me. But then I would undo. So right now I have it so it is sealed up to this point, and then the pattern wants you to just add a snap of some kind, like either a button or a snap, and then that way it generally keeps things in. It's pretty shallow. It's only like, you know, probably 5 or 6 inches deep, but it's like a really nice crossbody bag, and it's adorable. Look at these colors, you guys. Look at these colors. A little lemon, little orange, little lime. But I bought some fabric from Michael's. I think this might be from Joann's. No, this is Michael's. So look at this cute fabric. We got some pineapple, some sort of leopard, like watermelon-y, some just straight watermelon. Love, love, love this lemon. Like this could go inside, or this. I haven't decided yet. Like, oh, they're both so good. Anyway, so I have to figure that out. And it is more effort, obviously, to use so many colors or whatever, and it just slows down the process. So that will definitely be a bit more expensive than my other things, but I do really like them, and if people want to buy it, I would absolutely make more of them. Honestly, the issue right now is supply chain stuff, right? A lot of my yarn I get is from Hobie, and Hobie's overseas, and so it takes a while, and now it's, you know, who knows what's going on with the tariffs. And now with Joann being closed, then a lot of my other yarn is coming from Knit Picks, which is Dishy, and Dishy is great, but it is a little bit thinner than, say, the Lily Sugar and Cream, and so you just got to be careful about that, but it is softer. It's so nice. I love Dishy. I also was experimenting with some Lion Brand Re-Up cotton polyester. It's a pretty rough yarn, but I thought it would be good for like coasters or something. So I tried this pattern. It's actually really clever and super fun. So I was just trying it. It's okay. It's a little small, I feel like. I feel like I would need to size up just a bit. But I like the idea of this pattern if I used, you know, a bigger hook, a bigger yarn to maybe make a little purse or something, not out of this cotton, but something else. But this could really easily be a coaster set. So look at that, so freaking cute. I can't remember who it's by. I'll include it in the show notes. It is a YouTube video, so it's free. I found the creator and their pattern on Etsy, I think, and many of the reviews said that the pattern was really hard to understand, and after having done the pattern, following the video, I understand what they're saying because I was writing down the pattern from the video for myself in my notes. And there was a few things I just didn't know how to describe. Like they were specifically showing like how to do the double crochet down here. Like how do you describe like where you're starting? And it's pretty confusing. So I get why people are confused in the pattern. Like I don't even know how you'd show that in photos. So, but really cute. Love the little paw. Adorable. So pretty much what I'm going to be doing for the next week is working on my craft fair, my craft vendor stuff, my vendor fair, whatever you want to call it stuff. This will be an all-day event at a local mall, and it's really low-key. You just sort of set up around the mall, and people just as they go about their day can peruse your stuff, and I imagine it's going to be a really chill day, and it was really cheap to sign up for. It's like $25, so no big expectations. If I just sell a couple of things, that'll be great. And otherwise, I like spending time at that mall, so I'll just enjoy hanging out. Otherwise, I actually did get some of my own personal knitting done. Crafting. I did knitting and crochet. First things first is this shawl that it's actually a cowl. It is connected in the back. It's a really fun design. This is a really quick, I literally made this in just a couple days. This is the Pop and Lock by Paper Daisy Creations, Lisa K. Ross. And I did not read the pattern very well. I did read it. I will let you know that I read it and I still made a huge mistake more than once in the sense of, one, this is called the Pop and Lock because it's designed for the main color to be a neutral and then the contrast color to pop in these eyelet sections and in the mosaic. Okay. I read it, I saw the pictures, I knew what was up, and I literally knit all the way to the transition point here. And then I was like, I sent some pictures to a couple of friends, and then I was like, wait. So I seriously considered ripping it back, and I ultimately didn't because I was like, you know what, it's fine. But my other mistake is that this yarn, I wanted to have the full gradient. This is Monstropolis by Knit Circus. It is based on Monsters Inc. So it starts with these greens, it goes to a brighter green, it goes to a teal and blue, and then ultimately ends with this gorgeous, gorgeous purple that is speckled with little pinks. And it is such a good gradient that I wanted it to be in the shawl. And I don't know why I thought I was going to use a full skein when it said, I think the total yardage was between like $3.90 to $5 something. What's interesting is because this is a one size, some of the finished projects are as big as mine and some of them are teeny tiny cowls. And I think what I'm going to do, this is probably, I haven't weighed it yet, but this is probably slightly less than 50 grams. What I'm probably going to do is size down a needle size and knit a companion one for Steve, for my husband, because he loves cowls. And I feel like, I mean, maybe I won't size down. I'll see how much yarn I have left, and then we'll see what I do from there. But I guess what I could do is I could knit full color and then here just invert again and just use more of the, well, which one uses more? Maybe it's about even on here. No, it should be good that way. Yeah, anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm definitely going to want to make a companion one regardless of how my yarn ends up. I mean, it looks good. It looks good like this. But I was specifically originally making it, one, because I was so dumb and I thought that I was going to use all of this yarn. But two, because I wanted a neutral item that I can wear with a lot of outfits. This is not that. This is not neutral. Not neutral at all. But it is really pretty. The mosaic gets lost, of course, in the low contrast, and that's fine. I actually think just overall it's a very nice, clean pattern, and it was, you know, it knit up really quick, and it was a lot of fun, and I love that it's connected because I hate when my shawls fall off. I love a good cowl, so, I mean, there is that. And I used a skein of my Knit Circus. There was one part that somewhere in the green that was probably a little bit moth-eaten. It just had a couple of frayed edges, And I just cut the yarn and just picked up where I left off, and it was not a big deal. But yeah, yay, Poppin' Lock, yay, Monstropolis. Oh, so pretty. So I'm really happy about that. I haven't done like personal knitting, especially from yarn that already existed in my stash, in so long. Felt really good. The next thing I have finally finished. Finally, it's been like a year. I finally finished my mom's Boneyard Sweetheart sweater. This is a pattern by Telly B Knits. The yarn that I used is a mix of Barocco Vintage and Cascade, I want to say. It's on my Ravelry. And yeah, I really love this sweater. I did make it 2 patterns, so we'll see if my mom ends up actually giving it back, because like the yoke is actually pretty long, and then the body is a little bit short because it's supposed to be slightly cropped. Like I think it's supposed to graze your jeans line, and I wasn't thinking about it when I was making it. I was just following the pattern and knitting it to the dimensions specified. But I don't know if my mom wants it to be a little bit longer than that. Trying it on for me did not work because my bust is, and my arms are, I think, quite a bit larger than my mom's, and so like it doesn't give an accurate dimensional like how, like, would this ride up or not. But otherwise the like top half and the sleeve should be just fine. But I might need to extend the bottom just a bit. We'll see. But otherwise, like, I am fully done. It is so pretty. I love it. It's like this nice red. Yeah, there we go. And a green, like a little spooky slime green. And then this is like a deep purple with the white little ghosties on the cuffs. And then like a really fun detail that I think I just did not do on mine or my friend Sean's. Like I don't remember doing this on ours, but where you decrease right at the end of this part, so it's not a bubble sleeve, but it's just like a cute little like boop detail. Yeah, I love it. So I'm excited for her to finally have this, and now she'll have it for Halloween and whatever, and so I'm finally done with that, unless I need to make it longer, but I'm going to give it to her tomorrow. So by the time this video goes up, she should have it in her possession, and I can finally freely share this. I just realized I've never been able to share any part of this. I've talked about it a lot. I think I shared the colors of the yarn at one point, but here it is. This is my 3rd one. I love this pattern. It's so satisfying. I definitely want to make it again. Like I really like making this pattern. And again, this is the Boneyard Sweetheart sweater by Telly B Knits. The last thing that I have finished is another little snake. I made a snake for my cousin, aka one of my best friends. She really enjoyed the snakes that I have made for my nephew and my sister-in-law, and so she wanted her own. So she requested this bright green with some hot pink. These were literally, you guys, when I had braces, I almost always went with neon green and pink, alternating on my braces, the bands that you could have. I love this color combination. It is one of my favorite. And I also love that I had a set of the exact color pink eyes that match this snake. And I love this pattern. I've only ever been able to find it on YouTube. Everywhere else, like, I've bought multiple patterns from Etsy and they have been lies. They do not make this cute little snaky head shape, but there is a pattern on YouTube. I will include it. I have it somewhere. I'll include it in the bottom if you want to use it, but made a nice snake. It's not quite, I think it's what, like 4 feet? Yeah, maybe a little more than 4 feet. Cute. So yeah, that was fun. I had a good time. I do actually like making the amigurumi snakes. I think it's because I don't have to make an actual face on them, really. That's my like biggest fear with amigurumi. First of all, is making the shape correct and then getting any embroidery face on there, because that's what makes it cute, is the cute face stuff. yeah, so I'm gonna also give this to her tomorrow because again, I'm gonna see them. Oh, tomorrow is my son's second birthday party. It's not his birthday yet. His birthday is on the 16th. And today is the 11th. But we're having his birthday party tomorrow, and I'm gonna see lots of people, and it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm just excited. I'm excited to see everybody. He loves seeing a bunch of people. He loves his family, and yeah, he asks for his aunt and his grandpa all the time, which is so cute. And yeah, he's gonna turn 2 soon. So excited. That wraps it up for me for this episode. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Please feel free to check out my Etsy shop, my Instagram. All of my information is down below. Thank you for stopping by. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.